We'll go down to around freezing around the lake overnight. A couple of spots may dip into the upper 20s. For our Friday, mainly dry and around 50, closer to 60 for Saturday. Then get ready for another big cool down on the way by the end of the weekend and early next week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Don't miss the boat. Don't miss the boat, baby. Shop LKN Local for the best lake apparel, home decor, and gift ideas. Locally loved, made, and delivered right to your door. For the love of the lake, shop lkn-local.com today.
Do you have mountains of mess and cabinets of chaos? Summon the Royal Cleanup Crew at Crown Waste and Recycling, Lake Norman's crown jewel of cleaner and greener, offering commercial and residential services. Affordable, reliable, with state-of-the-art equipment 365 days a year. Call 704-222-2639 today.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the journey for focus, clarity, and mental mastery is about to begin. Live from WSIC Studios on the shores of Lake Norman, the show that gives you the tools to think sharper, sleep deeper, manage stress, and unlock your full mental potential. This is Your Brain Matters. And now, with over 30 years of brain science, more than 70,000 brain analyses, bringing neuroscience to everyday life, here's your host, Dr. Tim Royer.
Welcome back, listeners. It's Dr. Royer here, your host, with my co-host,
Nurse Amy.
Oh, Nurse Amy's in the house today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, we are fired up for this episode.
Well, the intro, I mean, how do you follow that?
They killed it. Those guys in the sound booth, what they're putting together back there.
It's good.
Yeah, I
it
like it.
gets me excited,
Yeah.
just even before we ever start talking.
Fired up, because you know what? Your brain matters. And it does matter. It matters, people. And you might think it doesn't matter and you can just do whatever you want to in the brain, but it does matter. You get one brain. You only get one. Make sure you're taking care of it. We can replace a lot of other things in your body, but we can't replace your brain. So let's be really good stewards of the brain. Before we kind of get rolling, I just wanted to say how excited we were to finish the last in our 6-part series at Joe Gibbs Racing this last week. What a fun time. We spent the last 5 to 6 months providing a master class to these employees there, which we love doing over their lunch hour, lunch and learn. They come in, we spend an hour together. You know, at first it was kind of like real formal and everything, but man, we started to just unpack so many things. We just had a lot of fun. What a great group of people over there at Joe Gibbs.
Yeah.
And we really love that stuff, right?
Yeah. We really enjoy providing education, and I got to go to the 6th presentation. So I got to see the outcome of your first 5 and moving into the 6th. And it's just amazing to see a group of people that, you know, they're just coming in on their lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, the human resources is providing it, and it's good for them to come. It works well for them within their work day. But they were coming in with information. Like they understand themselves more, and they understand what they can do to work better and to actually have, you know, an improvement in their body and brain just from learning more about it, which is exactly how we feel about coming in here and doing the show.
Yeah, it's all about education. Education is the bridge to change. And so many people just aren't educated. It's not that you are purposely making decisions. It's just giving you the education helps you understand it's not just a pill for every ill. There's other ways to deal with this.
Yeah. And in our current society, it's really frightening, the information that's out there everywhere. A lot of it's misleading.
Yeah.
And so it isn't that people are trying to harm themselves in most situations. It's they haven't gotten the right information to be able to do well for themselves. So with that said, we have a lecture coming up on this coming Tuesday night. It is December 16 in Verdict Ridge, 7 p.m. It's a great way to spend your evening. It's an hour and informal. You can come in your fancy clothes or you can come in your sweats. And We just enjoy getting together with a small group and walking through a lot of the things that we talk about on this show, but in a kind of a lecture format. So you get a lot in that hour, and it's definitely worth your time. If you're able to come, text us at 616-341-2299 because the seating is limited.
Yeah, so what was that again? Where do we text?
616-341-2299.
Awesome. And we'll also be looking at a brain in real time. It's a very hands-on kind of lecture. We'll look at a brain. We won't be doing lobotomies at this one.
No.
That's at another one.
Oh,
but okay, gotcha. But we'll be looking at the brain. We're looking at the heart, looking at breathing. We don't do lobotomies.
No.
That was a joke. Then we have another one, in case you know somebody in the Florida area.
Yep.
We have a Naples lecture. We do a lot of work for a stem cell exosome clinic in Naples, and I'm actually down there. And I said, hey, let's do a lecture while we're down there. That's December 19, so that's that Friday at 6:30 p.m. Same number to text and RSVP. Just identify that you're going to the Naples one. That's 616-341-2299.
Perfect. And then we also want to remind anyone listening that we have a grand opening at our Birkdale office. We have a local presence now, and we're super excited about that. And we're offering our regular assessment, which assesses the brain and the breathing, the autonomic nervous system. It's normally $500, and we're offering it for half price, $250.
Who chose that?
Yeah.
Did you decide that?
I don't know, but you still have to do the same amount of work, even though you're going to make half as much money.
$250, and that's the $500. And I guarantee that you will love this. If you don't love it, we'll give you your money back. How about that?
Okay.
What?
Wow. Even better. Wow.
Okay.
Like I said, it's Christmas around here.
Yes. So that is also, if you'd like to get an assessment, that one you're going to do yourbrainmatters.today. Yourbrainmatters.today. And that will give you the information for your lecture, for the getting the assessment.
It's definitely the right thing to do. All right. Now, we're going to give the listeners a little preview of our next couple episodes. So the next one, next week, we are going to talk about something that I love to talk about, which is how do medicines impact the brain? So this is something that after today's episode, you're already going to be clued in a bit to how we're going to talk about this, but it is pretty phenomenal. And unfortunately, out in the pharmaceutical world, you are not being given the whole story.
Right. Yeah.
So, for example, when you hear an ad on TV for a medication, and at the end they say in a really fast, they're like, "This could cause you to,
depression,
not be able to breathe," and those are things that need to be a little more forefront in the understanding of the medications and how we use them. So we're gonna unpack that a little bit, and then
the next one, the following week, we're going to do the brain's greatest tool for change. So we think that it's chemically altering when it's really not chemically altering. It's teaching the brain to learn. So during this last minute, I do want to put up one other thing. We've been asking this question, which you're going to hear at the beginning of the next segment. Why does your brain matter? And we're going to hear from somebody really, really amazing. And we also want to invite you to tell us why your brain matters. And how can they do that, Aim?
Yeah, so this is really cool. We'd really love to hear what you all have to say. So text your response to 616-341-2299. Please tell us why your brain matters. We can't wait to hear it.
And we're going to read them on the air if they tell us. Let's go.
You betcha.
Yeah, fun, fun, fun.
Discover what your brain's been trying to tell you. Your Brain Matters with Dr. Tim Royer will be right back. WSIC. Local starts here.
Plenty of sunshine back for our Thursday, but we're a little cooler once again. High temperatures, upper 40s to near 50 this afternoon. We'll go down to around freezing around the lake overnight. A couple of spots may dip into the upper 20s. For our Friday, mainly dry and around 50, closer to 60 for Saturday. Then get ready for another big cool down on the way by the end of the weekend and early next week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Give the gift of wow. Shop at Harrison's. They'll be all smiles in new Carhartt. Ariat has layers they'll love, and there's nothing merrier than a pair of Tacovas. Find gifts for everyone at the home of Work Western and wow in Mooresville or at harrisonsusa.com.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Embrace the magic of the season with a classic Christmas in downtown Mooresville on Friday. Live entertainment, shopping, ice skating, wagon and train rides, carolers, and more begin at 4:30 p.m. Food, beverages, and sweet treats will also be available. Visit mooresvilleevents.com for more information on a classic Christmas in downtown. Bin 110 in Cornelius presents live music with Townley Road on Friday night and Classically Rockin' on Saturday. Click on bin110.com to see their live music lineup, their specialty cocktails and whiskeys, and the food menu. The drive-through holiday balloon glow is Saturday at the Statesville Soccer Complex. From 5 to 6 p.m., visitors will enjoy a magical evening as hot air balloons light up the night sky. Admission is non-perishable food or personal hygiene donations for Iredell Christian Ministries. Visit statesvillenc.com for more details. The Statesville Christmas Parade is Sunday at 3 p.m. The parade route is on Center Street, beginning at Bell Street and ending at Statesville High School. Parade proceeds go to the Masonic Home for Children at Oxford and the Whitestone Retirement Community. Click on parade.statesvillenc.com for more information. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now and runs through January 4th. The drive-through holiday light show features more than 5 million lights circling the iconic oval, pit road, and infield road course. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets and information on Speedway Christmas. Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Brain Science Made Simple. Your Brain Matters, hosted by Dr. Tim Royer, continues on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back to Your Brain Matters, and I want you to just stop what you're doing, and you've got to listen to this next quote that we received this quote from a very good friend of mine. His name's Elliot Williams. He's in his 8th season with the San Francisco 49ers as the director of functional performance. He develops individual routines for players to prevent injury, optimize sleep, and maintain availability. His work impacts players, coaches, front office staff, and the entire organizations. He stands at the crossroads of performance science, nervous system regulation, and human well-being. You've got to hear this quote. Amy's going to read it for us. Let's go.
All right. It is my privilege to read this. I read this earlier this week, and I actually sat back and was like, each time I finished a sentence, I was like, it doesn't get any better than this.
No,
and
it's
then
amazing.
It kept getting better. So, I mean, I don't want to tell you this, but I think the last line is the best, but it's going to be like building, building, building. So anyway, here we go. Read verbatim to you. If we are being strictly literal, processing information, interpreting it, and passing it along is just the brain doing its wet electrical thing, matter being matter. But I think we're talking about something more human than that. In practice, you can't separate the mind from the body any more than you could separate the dancer from the dance. My brain isn't just some generic organ. It's the only one like it in the universe. It's my private library of every moment I've ever lived. The lens that bends the world into shapes only I can see. And this ridiculous, bottomless sack of feelings I drag around like a messed up Santa Claus. He's got a good writer.
He is a very good writer.
Yeah. So, okay, going on, he says, Every new experience hits that machinery and comes out as something slightly different from anyone else's version. A fresh twist on joy, a new shade of anger, a heartbreak that rhymes with the last one but never quite repeats the same lines.
Wow.
That constant novelty is how my brain proves to me every single day that I am still alive. I spend my life chasing consistency, but my brain keeps yanking me toward surprise, toward growth, toward anything but stagnation. That tension, wanting steadiness while secretly craving the jolt of the new, is the real fight. Consistency without sliding into complacency.
Wow.
All right, brace yourselves. Finally, he says, my brain matters because when I shut up and actually listen to it, it has never once steered me wrong.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And he doesn't know anything about what we're doing in here today, but he has laid the foundation for what we're going to talk about today in the Science Corner.
Absolutely. And if you want to hear more from Elliot, go to royerneuroscience.com to our resources section. And he does 2 10-minute videos describing his experience with the program. So this isn't just somebody who doesn't understand what Royer Neuroscience is, just an articulate, amazing guy. So that transitions us right into the next section. And let's summarize a little bit from where we were last time in the Science Corner is, we've talked about this autonomic nervous system that's taking in information from the 5 senses. And it has 2 extremes that it can go into, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic is the lion. I brought my lion in with me. And parasympathetic is the pillow. Okay, so we've got those 2 things.
Visuals.
And so the autonomic nervous system is constantly taking me back and forth using my 5 senses. And last week, we walked through the actual chemical cascade that starts with an electrical signal that ended up being the production of this cortisol adrenaline that causes us to absorb all these sugars that gives us massive levels of energy. But there's some downside to that, is that sometimes we're doing that because we're mentally worked up, not physiologically like running from a lion. And then that leads to different chronic illnesses like type 2 diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, dementia, because we're stuck in that chronic state of sympathetic. So with that in mind, we move to this next segment of we've made this chemical change. So now what happens next, Aim?
Okay. So when I think about it in my mind, I think about it as a continuum in which you glide in between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So in a perfect world, your body takes in the stimuli and decides where it needs to be on that continuum. And that really for us is the perfect picture of health, is that we can glide from one end to the other and experience all these wide ranges of emotion and of physical performance, and that it would match, our reaction would match the state that we're supposed to be in.
Right.
But we tend to get stuck. So some of the things that make it more complicated than just a continuum that the autonomic nervous system is providing the electricity for is the fact that that continuum commands 11 systems in our body.
Wow.
So now we're talking about chaos, right? So I'm going to list the systems just because sometimes we forget that all of these things are connected, and we live in a society that's very reductionistic in our health and medical practices. They want you to go to this specialist, that specialist versus having somebody who will look at the whole body and speak to how can we be well within all of the systems at the same time. So here we go. This is 5th grade level, okay? First system is your integumentary system, and that is your skin, hair, nails, etc. It provides protection for your body. Then we have our skeletal system, our muscular system, our nervous system, which is one we've already talked about for 3 weeks. So you guys are 4 weeks into your nervous system. Endocrine system, all the glands and hormones, cardiovascular system, the lymphatic system, which is basically your immune system, the respiratory system, which, as you guys already know, oxygen is your number 1 most important thing for your brain matters. We have the digestive system and the urinary system or the excretory system to get rid of things, and the reproductive system. Okay,
Wow.
everybody, think
Wow.
about that. You got 11 systems that are gliding along this continuum of sympathetic to parasympathetic. It's complicated. So hopefully it would be helpful for
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
You said 5th grade, like this is 5th
Fifth grade
grade
level.
stuff.
Yeah.
Where did you go to 5th grade? Okay, because I would have never known those 11 systems in 5th. Did you really know that by 5th
Well, I
grade?
thought we all had to do that. Remember, we would trace out the human body and we would draw the different things.
I never did that.
Yeah, I need to talk to your elementary school teachers at some point. But, and then, I mean, of course, being interested in health
Yes.
and medicine, of course, I went in that direction and then learned more and more. But I do think we did learn about our systems in later elementary
Yes.
school. So
Okay.
potentially 7th
I'll
for
give it.
at
Okay,
your
so
school.
I'm probably 8th, but that's okay.
Okay, so I want to ask Doc a question because this is something we deal with and we see
Yes.
so frequently. Please describe to our listeners what does it look like when these systems get stuck in the run from the lion state, the fright, flight, fight?
Yeah, so you're putting this extra load on these systems that if they were burning it because they really want running from a lion, that's great.
Yes.
But they're not. So what's happening is now my heart is working harder.
Yeah.
It's increasing my blood pressure. It's affecting my heart rate. And I'm creating issues on the cardiovascular strain. We're creating more load on that. Let's think of something like the endocrine system, which is working on this whole cortisol, and my insulin starts spiking.
Mhm.
All these things are happening, which are affecting me, not because the environment is making me stronger, but because my brain is getting me stuck in the sympathetic state. Things like reproductive system. What happens to animals when they're stressed is they don't reproduce. So many times I used to do a lot of consultation for fertility clinics, and there's so much going on that's related to stress and sleep, and then that not happening, not being able to get pregnant, all of a sudden creates more stress and more relief. So we're stuck in this sympathetic state. So there is a lot of the reproductive system that is super connected to the body being in a sympathetic state.
Right, absolutely. I mean, if you think about a zebra running from a lion, like that's not a great time to get pregnant.
No,
So the
it
body's
doesn't want it. It
actually
protects itself.
protecting itself.
Digestion gets impacted. So digestion is a slow state. It's a parasympathetic state. So when I'm stuck in sympathetic, my digestive system's not going to do that work. And so now food gets all mixed up. And I always tell people when we're talking about weight loss or weight gain, let's first work on the brain. Okay. It isn't, hey, let's do, this specific diet or this or that. It's we got to get back to the brain and the autonomic nervous system.
100%. Yep. I know with the athletes that what we see frequently is when the brain is stuck in sympathetic, these guys get injured.
Big time.
And it all makes sense. It's like it's all connected, and it's almost like, oh my word, if we could look at the brain, we could almost tell the coaches like, don't play that guy tonight because he's going to get injured.
Yeah, we used to see that when sleep gets disrupted, their testosterone would drop. Why is that? Not enough parasympathetic.
Awesome. Some of the things that happen when we're in parasympathetic are, we'll sleep well, we'll be more relaxed, our emotions will be well regulated. If you're not experiencing those kind of things, then you got to be thinking, am I stuck in sympathetic?
Yeah.
You got to ask that question.
So as we finish up, we talked about all these systems. As we go into the next section, we're going to look at another system, the family system. And within the family system, the marriage system.
Oh,
that's
my gosh.
interesting.
Let's do this.
I can't wait.
Don't go anywhere. Dr. Tim Royer will be right back with more ways to make your brain work for you. Your Brain Matters on WSIC. Local starts here.
Plenty of sunshine back for our Thursday, but we're a little cooler once again. High temperatures, upper 40s to near 50 this afternoon. We'll go down to around freezing around the lake overnight. A couple of spots may dip into the upper 20s. For our Friday, mainly dry and around 50, closer to 60 for Saturday. Then get ready for another big cool down on the way by the end of the weekend and early next week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Lowry Drug is a source for excellent pharmacy services. We have served the Statesville community since 1959. We have attentive customer service, a state-of-the-art compounding laboratory, and the Dispill medication packaging system that takes the work out of medication management for those using medication planners. We do it for you. Come see us at Lowry Drug in Statesville. Call 704-873-2247. Come see us.
This is Sheriff Darren Campbell with the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. Every day, scammers are targeting people right here in our community through phone calls, emails, and text messages, trying to steal your money, your personal information, and even your identity. If someone calls claiming to be from a government, a bank, or even law enforcement demanding money or personal details, stop and think. Legitimate organizations will never ask for gift cards, wire transfers, or your passwords over the phone or email. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Hang up, don't click that link, and never share personal information with someone you don't trust. At the Iredell County Sheriff's Office, we're working to protect our community, and we're proud to partner with WSIC because local starts here, and keeping you informed keeps you safe. Stay alert, stay smart, and don't fall for a scam.
Exciting news at Randy Marion Ford Lincoln in Statesville. We have opened a separate used car department. That's right, we have over 300 pre-owned vehicles on Folger Drive. That's right across the interstate from the main lot. I tell you, better to serve you with higher quality, higher quantity, king of price deals on pre-owned vehicle. Come see us today at our new location, 1011 Folger Drive, right across the interstate from the main showroom. You can't miss us. And as always, king of price, king of deals, you can't beat Randy Marion in Statesville.
What color I see? Sweetheart, would you turn it down? The neighbors can hear us. Sweetheart, the neighbors can hear this.
Ladies, if your husband's favorite TV setting is way too loud, it might be time for a hearing test. If this sounds familiar, it's time to call Beltone in Mooresville and Cornelius. Call 877-HEAR-123 today. That's 877-HEAR-123. Turn down the TV and turn up the conversation. Call 877-HEAR-123 now.
What if we've got it backwards? Stop letting frustration hold your child back. The book Extinguishing Einstein reveals why traditional methods fail and what really works for ADHD. Claim your free copy today at RoyerNeuroscience.com and empower your child to thrive.
Friendly reminder, don't brake when you see the lake.
WSIC, local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is headed for a record close one day after the Federal Reserve cut interest rates for the third time this year and left the door open for more rate cuts next year. Shares of Oracle came under pressure on growing fears about the software giant's massive spending on artificial intelligence. Speaking of which, Disney is investing $1 billion in OpenAI and licensing its iconic characters to the startup's video platform. Under the 3-year deal, fans will be allowed to make AI videos with more than 200 of Disney's copyrighted characters, including Mickey Mouse and Luke Skywalker. Disney says they do not include actors' voices or likenesses. And a next-generation obesity shot from Eli Lilly helped patients lose almost a quarter of their body weight in 68 weeks. Patients on the highest dose of the drug also saw a 62% reduction in knee pain. Lilly says some patients lost so much weight they dropped out of the clinical trial. Alexis Christoforous, Bloomberg Radio.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here.
We're back with more ways to understand the most powerful computer you'll ever own. Your Brain. Your Brain Matters, hosted by Dr. Tim Royer, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. It's Dr. Tim Royer here with Nurse Amy. I came in a little bit early there, and we're going into the mind And we talked about all these different systems, these 11, 13 systems.
Right.
But now we're talking about something, you got to think a little bit about this, the marriage system, how two nervous systems create one relationship, which is just crazy. So why would we be talking about the marriage system, and why does your brain matter to that? And I have to let you know that yesterday was our anniversary.
So true. 37 years of being married.
Did you wait? Whoa.
We got
How
married
many years?
in 5th grade.
Oh, 5th grade when we were learning
we
these
learned
systems,
about the 5
but I didn't
systems.
learn until high school. Yeah, exactly. 37
37
years. Are you
Jeez.
kidding me?
Yeah, it's so long. I can barely remember not being married.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
You know, we have 4 kids. They're all adults now, 3 grandkids.
Yep.
It's just crazy what happens
Yeah.
in that amount of time. You know, we're just 2, young 20-some-year-olds.
Yeah.
It was really crazy. It's been fantastic being married to you.
Woo, thank you.
Yeah. I've become a much stronger person, and there's always moments in any relationship, right? Because you bring 2 people who aren't completely whole together. They don't make a whole. They actually make less of a unit because they have to kind of become into this one relationship. So,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when I think about marriage, I think it's an absolute impossibility.
Yeah.
The way humans are made, and I mean, really, how is it supposed to work out and last forever? But so today we're going to talk about why our brains matter inside of our relationships. And so it's easy for us today to highlight a marriage relationship, but you can apply any of this information to any relationship. So for our listeners, like, just start thinking now about how you relate to others. And we're going to unpack a little bit about just how do we blend these 2 nervous systems into a relationship.
Yeah, so you've got 2 brains that, like Elliot said, see the world totally different, right? Like every one of us sees it different. And so we see, good things, we see bad things, totally different. Sometimes they don't even mean the same thing to us, right? Because you have 2 different brains that are coming together, and it's a 2-brain system.
Okay.
And so with that, I want to look at it, or have us look at it, along this continuum of parasympathetic and sympathetic. Because if I look back 37 years, I would say that there's certain seasons of our life that were characterized by very sympathetic.
Yes.
And sympathetic is that fast fight, flight state where there's conflict, there's miscommunication at times in that sympathetic stress system where, you get angry, you get scared, you can't get to sleep, you're in that sympathetic state. But then also in the marriage, there's those parasympathetic states, those states where you feel safe, you feel connected, you feel bonded together, like, man, I want this to last forever, right?
Right.
And so it's constantly going back and forth, and something you're going to learn about later in episodes is something called allostatic load, which means every system needs stress to get stronger. Let me say that one more time. Every system needs stress to get stronger, but if it gets too much stress, then it breaks or it has an overload. So it's how do we manage that, right?
Man, and it is so dynamic. I mean, none of it's predictable. You've got 2 nervous systems gliding along that continuum, and you're trying to blend that together. Then you have outside forces. And, we might both feel parasympathetic at the same time, or we might feel the exact opposite reaction to something. And we're trying to blend that together. But like you said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, basically.
You haven't killed me yet.
Right. I haven't.
So hopefully I'm getting stronger.
That is so true. So there's just a lot going on under the surface. But we had a couple questions that might help unpack this a little bit, to just connect like you tell us more personally, and maybe we can connect that with more of what we had already talked about in the last section. So, Doc, what helps your brain feel grounded and connected to me?
Yeah, so I do think there's a certain responsibility I think that I've learned that it's about how I'm taking care of myself. There's a lot of times when I'm tired, I'm run down, I'm stressed, worried about something, and then you become the object that I project that onto when really I need to be taking care of myself. And for me, um, those moments where I feel grounded or connected actually started with me sleeping correctly, eating correctly, exercising, and then in those moments we have this parasympathetic connection where I mean nobody can stop us. It becomes kind of a resonant frequency where the two come together and they're stronger than the individual parts.
Yeah.
But that has to start with taking care of my own junk.
Right, right. I feel like it's kind of funny, but like when I get in that parasympathetic state, that more relaxed, I give myself a little space. I take a little better care of myself. I start to see things that I would like to mention to you.
Is that what we're going to say that is?
And so then I have to think about, well, when is the right time
Yeah.
to mention this? But like when you kind of can slow down, it's kind of like what Elliot said. If I listen to my brain,
Yeah.
if I listen to my brain, it's reinforcing me and saying you're doing good, Aim. You're taking better care of yourself. Then my very next impulse is that I want to take better care of you, or I want to see you take better care of yourself. So even in that space, there can be conflict because now I'm potentially the nagging wife.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really important to, like, when I'm in the right space, I'll make better choices as to like how to present it to you, when to present it to you, or like if I have something to present to you, like bite-sized pieces are better than like the whole shebang all at once. So
Yeah, and I think what sometimes like I've had these things happen where I've got this whole punch list in my mind of I'm going to tell her about this and this and this, and it's all going through my mind like, okay, got this one right this time, right?
Right.
And I think what I've learned is what we both learned is, sleep on it a little bit. Go get a good meal.
Yeah.
Get some rest. Kind of, and what's crazy is this whole list. I'm like, I'm gonna, tell her everything, and that when I go to sleep and I wake up the next day, it's like, that wasn't really that big of a deal. What's wrong with you, Doc?
That is so
do you know what I'm
true.
saying? Is
Oh,
there
yeah.
something about taking care of the nervous system itself,
Right.
that it sees the world, just like Elliot was saying, it starts to see the world differently. That what I thought was like, oh, I've got to tell her about this, and it's like, no, she's a pretty smart cookie there. She's gonna figure some of this out. I don't need to be in her face about it.
Oh, that's so, so funny because when we were first married, I remember like one of our first arguments, and I was sitting up on the couch refusing to go to bed because of the verse that says, you do not let the sun go down on your wrath. And I was not going to allow this situation to ruin our marriage, in the first 6 months. And poor Doc, he was so exhausted from who knows what.
Yes.
It was during college, exams, whatever. And he just needed to sleep. And I sat on that couch and I thought, like, what have I married? This man who doesn't follow the Bible or whatever. But all he needed was to sleep. And then when we had a conversation, it began to, we could unravel it better because his brain was working better. I had no concept of this. So it's a funny thing to look back on now, but sometimes we'll actually run into something and it's in the later part of the day and we'll just say like, we need to kick that to tomorrow.
Yeah, let's move it tomorrow.
For both of our
Exactly.
sake. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that we're avoiding it. It's more like let's get the nervous system balanced first.
Exactly.
And not be stuck in this fight flight where all the systems in my body are out of control, and then it's going to affect where we're at.
Right. So we want to make sure that within relationships, we think about moving ourselves into that more parasympathetic state where our brain can do the rest, digest, recover, and it will lead us home if we listen to it.
It will. And your brain truly does matter in marriage.
Take a breath. Let your brain reset. We'll be right back with Dr. Tim Royer on Your Brain Matters. WSIC Local starts here.
Plenty of sunshine back for our Thursday, but we're a little cooler once again. High temperatures upper 40s to near 50 this afternoon. We'll go down to around freezing around the lake overnight. A couple of spots may dip into the upper 20s. For our Friday, mainly dry and around 50, closer to 60 for Saturday. Then get ready for another big cool down on the way by the end of the weekend and early next week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Embrace the magic of the season with a classic Christmas in downtown Mooresville on Friday. Live entertainment, shopping, ice skating, wagon and train rides, carolers, and more begin at 4:30 p.m. Food, beverages, and sweet treats will also be available. Visit mooresvilleevents.com for more information on a classic Christmas in downtown. Bin 110 in Cornelius presents live music with Townley Road on Friday night and Classically Rockin' on Saturday. Click on bin110.com to see their live music lineup, their specialty cocktails and whiskeys, and the food menu. The drive-through holiday balloon glow is Saturday at the Statesville Soccer Complex. From 5 to 6 p.m., visitors will enjoy a magical evening as hot air balloons light up the night sky. Admission is non-perishable food or personal hygiene donations for Iredell Christian Ministries. Visit statesvillenc.com for more details. The Statesville Christmas Parade is Sunday at 3 p.m. The parade route is on Center Street, beginning at Bell Street and ending at Statesville High School. Parade proceeds go to the Masonic Home for Children at Oxford and the Whitestone Retirement Community. Click on parade.statesvillenc.com for